Alright, so this is gonna be hopefully a very quick Eddy video, an Eddy guide video, whatever you want to call it. So I see on YouTube there's a lot of videos based off of how to beat Eddy, how to counter Eddy, how to deal with Eddy's bullshit, but there's not a lot of videos on YouTube that shows what Eddy has to offer, because there are people that play Eddy, there are people that would like to know Eddy, and I'm really throwing gasoline in the fire because we're trying to eliminate the Eddy population, right? Well, can't keep the Eddy population down. So anyways, enough of the BS intro. I'm gonna give my shout outs out of the way. Shout outs to all the Capo players that I followed for years, for months even. Without them, this video wouldn't be nowhere near as complete as it is now. But anyways, let's get started. So we got 10 frame punishes. He has standard 1-2, safe on block, plus on hit, double high. Everybody has this. Moving on. He also has 1-2-4, which is a somersault. From this you can go into 1-2-4-4, which is a high. It's pretty unsafe, but if you're not against the wall, it has a pushback and you end to relax, so it's pretty hard to punish. You can still get knocked out when you're in the middle of the somersault. Another thing that you have to watch out for is, since it's a high, your opponent can just duck it and you can get punished just completely from it. He also has 4-3, which ends in a low. It's safe on block, and on hit you get a guaranteed 1-4-4-3+4 from it. Sorry. And it's also safe on block. So say if he blocks the move, you have about a couple of frames, I think like 3+ frames, to do whatever it is the heck you want, but be mindful of it because it can be low parried, just like every single low that is plus on block and really safe. So he also has neutral. If you press nothing after the somersault, he'll go into a full crouch. So because this can get punished by just simply ducking, and this could get punished by a low parry, chances are your opponent is going to immediately duck when they see you do a somersault. So you can go into a mid from the crouch and just fake out an opponent. So say they're expecting a guard, right? Say they're expecting a crouch. You just give them the finger, basically. Even better, crouching guard. Say you do that, right? You could do this instead. So, you know, he has some mix-up potential. It's more like a gimmick than anything else. He also has 1-3, which is combo on counter hit. It's -12 if you go into relax. Otherwise, it's -14. Either way, it's unsafe. But like most moves that go into relax, it's pretty tricky to punish, and you're pretty safe unless if you don't press another button. It's a high mid, so if they're going to expect this, then they duck low, then you can hit them with that for a little cheesy mix-up. Another 10 frame jab from crouch. Safe on block, safe on hit. Not much to say, moving on. 11 frame punish, he has this. Again, not much to say. And he also has while standing 4. Circle kick, wheel kick, whatever it's called. It's safe on block, and on hit you can lead into this, lead into some gimmicks with forward 3+4. If you're at enough range, if you're at enough range, you can actually lead into a combo if I can get it. So yeah, something like that basically. But if you're like at the sweet spot, then this will hit and you get like a launch from it. But moving along, 12 frame punish, he has this, 4-2-1. Now, he has 4-2-1-4, but the 4 is not natural combo, and it's not natural combo on counter hit either. but you can delay the 4 if you're expecting your opponent to like press a button, but 9 times out of 10, like, I'm sorry, I lied. It is natural combo on counter hit. I'm just really silly. Yeah, it is natural combo on counter hit, but as a punish, it's not natural combo. The only way it's natural combo is on counter. My fault. He has standing 4 as a 12 frame punish. Safe on block. Has decent range. Not much you can really do from it, just like the other 10 frame stuff. This is also 12 frame punish, 1+2. It's +1 on block if both hits land or if the second hit lands, and it's +7 on hit if the second hit lands. So you can get into some crazy mix-ups, like you could go into down forward 4 from that. You could go into you go into down forward 3+4 if you're feeling greedy. You're at plus, so you can apply more pressure and frame traps, since on hit this is a guaranteed frame trap. You also can go into a launcher from this, which I wouldn't really recommend, but since this is a double high, if they're expecting to get hit by it for some reason, like you block and you get 12 frames and they're expecting this, chances are they're gonna like duck and they're gonna hit. They're gonna try and duck both moves since it's a double high. So what you can do is, like, you know, avoid it altogether. Even though it does hit both times, but it has its uses, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's good like to use it once in a while though. Okay, so 13 frame punish. He has down forward 1-1. Really good on hit. It's safe on block, and you get +8 on hit. So once again, just like with this, actually if you alternate between the two, you use so much plus frames. The negative thing about this is that it is a mid-high, but since we're using this as a punish, it is natural combo. But if you're just throwing this out there, just throw it out there. Be mindful that the second hit is a high, so your opponent can and more than likely will duck it if, like, they block the first hit. So you don't want this to happen, because Noctis can easily just body your shit with a Rising 2 or whatever it is that Noctis players do. And if it's Kazuya or another Eddy or Josie, anyone else that can get a full launch punish from it, then you don't want to be on the receiving end of it. So just be mindful if you're just throwing this out there. And if you hold forward, it can also go into a handstand, so you can hit him with the mid and go into the handstand mix up. Same thing can be said for the 1-2. You can go into a handstand from it. So he also has while standing 1-3, which is probably one of the best launch punishes in the entire game, in my opinion. Because any character that has a 13 frame launcher, especially from while standing, is like invaluable. And like most while standing moves, you can do instant while standing. So you get an instant 13 frame launch punish. And because you're going from low to high, you're going from crouching to standing with this, it even crushes highs basically. So it's a really good move. But just like how I was saying with DF11, this is a high. So your opponent, if they're expecting it, can duck the first hit, and they can also block high to avoid the second hit. So let's see. Well, that's not a good example, but well, you get the gist. Like, if the opponent was Eddy, I'd show you, but basically, like, since this is a high and this is a mid, you're gonna have to duck the first hit, and then you're gonna have to block high to avoid the second hit. And that's how you stuff it. Or if you have a frame attack that's fast enough to beat the second hit, then you can, you know, go ahead and punish him. regardless, like if you throw this out there and your opponent ducks it, you're really unsafe. Other than that, it's an instant 13 frame launcher, so the possibilities you can do with this move is legit endless. Like this stuffs out Kazumi pressure, this stuffs out some Jack pressure to an extent, I think. And if you're playing an Eddy mirror and Eddy player does this and you block the second hit, you can go instantly into this and just immediately punish it. Like it's really good. Just be mindful that this is a high, so do it accordingly. Another 13 frame punish is back three forward. So you press back 3 and you tilt the stick forward. It's a double hitting mid, natural combo. Does more damage than this by far, but just be mindful that it is unsafe on block. Like, I think it's like -14, so some characters can even launch punish this if they so choose to. And it's only +2 on hit, so there's a lot less payoff to have this move hit, so just be mindful of it. And lastly, there's B33, and as you can tell, it's not comboable. Only on counter hit, this is a combo. If you're using this as a punish, don't, because your opponent can just block the second hit and just blow you up for free. It can be delayed, but like, just don't go for it at all. Unless if it's a counter hit, of course. 14 frames, he has B14. It's not as bad as it was in Tag 2, and by bad I mean bad for the opponent. Like, it's bad for the Eddy player because this move got guttered so much, it's not even worth using. For starters, this doesn't even combo anymore. This only combos on counter hit, and you don't even get the guaranteed punish from it. Like, only this is on counter hit. The full string is not natural combo at all. I believe you can delay it. Can you? I believe you can delay it. I'm not 100% sure, but don't ever do this move. This move is only useful in combos. We'll get to that later. So 15 frames, you got your launcher. You got your launch punish at 15 frames. This was actually buffed from Tag 2 because in Tag 2 it was 16 frames, so they buffed it and made it 15 frames, which is always welcome. Reach is good. It hits deceptively because when you're punishing moves, like say you're doing a whip punish, most characters extend their limbs, and because of the extension of Eddy's limbs, it could catch opponents from this distance, even as far as this distance, depending on what move they do. If the move catches an opponent's limbs too far, you're gonna have to adjust with the combo because, you know, your bread and butter may not reach, but this is gonna be your basic launch punish. You also have BF2, which is nerfed from Tag and all the other games. This used to be a 14 frame punish, but now it's 15 frames. So in any situation where you're doing a whiff punish, you should always go for down forward 3+4. But this is still useful for Oki games because from this, if you time it well enough, you can go to dash cross circle forward 3 if you're quick enough. Like, the timing is pretty funky, but so like say for example, if you do this and not mess up. Okay. I did it too late. Okay, well maybe that beats it. I think that does beat it. Okay, hold on. Alright, let's try another move. Okay, so if they do a get up kick, that'll beat it, but that beats that. That beats that. Spring kick should beat it too. Whoops, wrong move. That beats that, but you don't get a full launch from it. So I think get up kick is the only thing that can beat it. Like if they're rolling, you could clip them, but it's not gonna like combo or anything. And yeah, that just completely whiffs because he attacks with his left leg. So it's good for Oki, and I think the only way to really beat it consistently is with a get up kick. But other than that, on counter hit, this launches. So if I can give an example, like on counter hit, this launches. So the only way I would say this is better than down forward 3+4 is that it's a lot safer than down forward 3+4. Because if an opponent blocks this, you're dead. But if an opponent blocks this, it's not too bad. But if you're using it as a punish, then down forward 3+4 all the way. He also has this DF3. It's safe on block. But it's slightly less safe if you go into relax, which is one of the few moves that's less safe on block going into relax. It's a mid, you know, it's not Mirage, but it's still a punish. He has down 4 as another punish, which can lead into some mix-ups since he's in full crouch. So you can go into Wild Rising 1-3 from it, go into Wild Rising 3, go into Wild Rising 2, any of your Wild Rising options. You can go into your full crouch options. You can just troll and just immediately go into a 10 frame. You can do a lot of possibilities with this. And of course, this leads into the infamous down 4-3, which is only a natural combo on counter. If an opponent blocks this, then they're gonna be forced crouch and it's -13, which I just got finished saying that certain characters like Eddy and Kazuya and the like can completely launch punish this. Otherwise, it's not necessarily the end of the world. I think like Leo can just body your shit if you block it again, if she blocks it. But he also has back 2-4, which is a really good wall carry. It's a really good wall carry. Like, it leads into a wall splat and everything too. So this is useful if you're trying to apply pressure while you're against a wall and they do an unsafe move and you don't want to go into this. You can also do some gimmicks against the wall too. So let's see. Like, I'm not the master of these gimmicks, but you can do some really stupid shit with it. If I can get it down. But you get the idea. Like, sometimes the back 2 will phase completely behind the opponent and you can do some crazy setups with it. But that's just some of the possibilities that you can do with back 2-3, back 2-4, my fault. Also, another thing is that since he's like in like a sort of crouch stance when he does back 2, it goes under some highs. So, and it also has pretty good range too. So you can use this to like end rounds. Like, this does 37 damage compared to like 17. So if you're trying to like end rounds and you know you can like whip it out, you know, you're trying to kill, you just do that, instant kill. Lastly, he has While Standing 2 as a 15 frame launcher. This is good if Wild Rising 1 is not good enough because it's a high. So this is like your all-purpose While Standing launcher, which will hit opponents if they're ducking, which will hit opponents that have wonky hitboxes. I'm looking at you, Xiaoyu. Or just if you just want to play it safe or play it by key. Like, you can see if this is going to whiff after certain attacks. You can like see it with most characters, but if you're ever unsure, you can just go for this. For 16 frames, he has this, but for a 16 frame to happen at such a short distance, it's pretty crazy. Like, you're like most moves that are -16 frames and you're allowed to do this, highly unlikely. But it's actually 2 variants to this move. up 1+2 causes a bit of a knockdown launcher. So if you're like point blank range, you can get a launch from it. Up forward 1+2, switches sides, like Eddy does like a leapfrog type thing. And switches sides. It's good like if you're against a wall and you're trying to like switch sides and not be against the wall anymore. Another good thing is that it is safe on block, so you can just throw it out there as a panic move, just don't get too crazy with it. 17 frames, he has 3, 4, which is natural combo. And it's one of Eddy's few homing moves, so this could catch sidesteppers and sidewalkers and all that. It's also safe on block too, like it's -4 on block, so you can throw this out and like there's nothing that the opponent can do. Like let's see, say if I stand guard. I just want to test something real quick. Okay, so it can be interrupted. Like the opponent can like stand and crouch, but since it's a high mid, like, you know, they gotta duck the first hit or they take the second hit, one of those things. Another good thing about this move is on counter hit, this can cause a launch, so it's kind of iffy, the angle. Like if you're off axis to the left, that's not what I wanted to do. If you're off axis to the left, then you get a guaranteed combo from it. But if you're off axis to the right, it's pretty iffy. Well, if you're standing in front of the opponent, certain opponents, it's kind of iffy. And if you're like off axis to the right, then forget it. I guess this don't even work. On counter hit, 3 and 4 gives you an instant screw combo. So that's also something to look out for. He also has this as a 17 frame. It's a double mid, it crushes lows, it's natural combo, and as you can also see, it's a wall splat. I don't believe it's safe, but it's used as a corkscrew in certain combos, like for certain areas that have a wall break or floor break even, like, you know, jungle outposts, G building, the temple stage, I forgot the name of it, but stages like those, this is a pretty good move to transition to. Another thing to note is it's also good for Oki. Like say if someone is going to go for a spring kick, right? You can catch them in the air and make them regret it. Let's see if they're doing any other move. Let's see. Okay. Damn it. Yeah, it catches that. Well, maybe, let's see. Okay. I don't think it catches low kicks. Yeah, it doesn't cause a bound on a low kick. It doesn't catch a bound on a mid kick, it looks like either. So if they're doing a get up kick and a spring kick, then it's instant, like, screw, which is hilarious. So that's also good for Oki. It's a good move, it's just unsafe like most moves like these. And also, I was briefly touching about it earlier, but he also has 3+4, which if both hits connect, it's a knockdown, but if the second hit connects, then it is a launch. So if you're at a correct distance, like I was trying to do with while standing 4 or whatever, that's not while standing 4. If you're trying to do like while standing 4 and you're at the sweet spot, then you can get a launcher from this, which is really good, and it's also safe on block, like super safe on block. Like, all in all, it's a really good move. 18 frames, he has DB4, which is kind of a panic move. It crushes highs, and you know, you can infamously do this move to be a giant cunt, but it has its usefulness in certain scenarios as a panic move, as I said. So let's set Noctis to do the infamous 2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2 combo. So you can throw this in the middle of the combo if you're like expecting the string to hit, like if you're expecting the string, or if you're unsure if it goes through, you can just throw it out. Against the wall, it does wall splat. Let me see. Yeah, it does wall splat. It's not the best wall splat, but it does wall splat. There are better options to crush high strings, which I will get to in a few, but the option is there. He has full crouch down back 4, which is okay. Like, it's not as godly as it was in previous Tekkens. This also got nerfed because in previous Tekkens, on counter hit, it would be a stun like Kazuya's While Rising 2. Like Eddy had the same thing from down back 4, but now it's more like a weird like you know, like he got shot in the chest or some shit, so he gets like pushed back or something. So you can't get like a full combo from it, but you can go into Oki, just like how I was alluding to before. So setting this up again, let's say he does a get up kick, right? You can go into Oki, which is easier to hit than this because he's in stun, so you got all the time in the world to reach up to him and do quarter circle forward 3. So that beats that. That beats that. That beats that. So it beats all attack options, and even if they're trying to roll, like they're still in recovery. So I think if they try to do anything, the quarter circle forward 3 is guaranteed. Let me see. Yeah, if they literally do anything, I'm gonna put this on random. Yeah, that catches it. Yeah, so if they do anything on wake up, if they even breathe on wake up, the quarter circle forward 3 will hit. So it's not as godly as it was in previous Tekkens, because in previous Tekkens you get a full combo from it. But if the opponent presses anything on wake up after the stun on counter hit, you get a free quarter circle forward 3, which, you know, not a lot of damage, but considering that this has really good wall carry and some stages are smaller than others, you can easily like turn the tides with just simple move. Oh, and did I mention that this move is safe on block? Because this move is safe on block. Like, it's -10, but because the way Eddy is positioned, there's not a lot of 10 frame moves, if any at all. I think besides Xiaoyu's back 1 that can punish this on block, so you're good. It's a really good move. It's not as good as it was in previous Tekkens, but it's still a really good move. He also has DF4. Let's see. He has DF4, which is an 18 frame low. It has decent enough range. Like from here, it'll hit. If you take a step back, sometimes it'll hit. But its main purpose is on counter hit. You get a guaranteed up 3 from it. So that's about 48 damage right there, which for 2 hits, that's kind of a big deal. Like most lows, it's unsafe on block. You can get low parried if you're being telegraphed, but if your opponent doesn't respect this and they try to attack out of it, then you get a free up 3 from it. Likewise with 4-4-2-3, this is natural combo, I believe. Let me just double check. I don't think it is natural combo. Nah, this isn't natural combo. It's natural combo on counter hit, but not like normally. You can delay the second hit to fish a counter hit from this. And just like with this, it's unsafe on block. But they're gonna have to block the second hit. So you get hit with this, you can just like not do anything. But if you try to go for this, they're gonna have to block low. So they're gonna have to go like, you know, high low. It's also Eddy's second homing move. So this is also good to catch sidesteppers. It doesn't have as much horizontal reach as this move, but it's still a really good horizontal move. Another thing to note, since you're trying to fish for a counter hit, more often than not with the 3, since you're delaying it, just like with down forward 4, if the 3 hits on counter, then you get a free up 3 from it. But the second hit has to hit only. Like if the first hit hits, then you're not gonna get this. So he also has forward forward 3, which is, you know, more often than not, you're gonna either do this move or you're gonna do the slide. This move is unsafe, but it's really tricky to punish because it got pushback. Like there's quite a bit of pushback. If you're against a wall, then it could be punished, but this has pretty decent pushback. And if you're holding back, this has even more pushback. So even if it is unsafe, the pushback you do to your opponent and the pushback that Eddy does into handstand is, you know, quite mental. And this is also safe on block if you hold down. So it's the safest. It can be punished. Just don't be too predictable with it. All in all, it's really good move if you hit it. When you hit it, you're gonna hit it more often than you think. And he also has forward 3 for 18 frames, just like DF3, but a lot slower. The range is kind of better. It's one of those moves that goes into handstand, but I don't know. It's not really a move that, you know, I would say is top 10, but 19 frames. He has this, the move that we were talking about for a while now. Quarter circle forward 3 or while rising 3. This is Eddy's hop kick, and this can crush lows. It's probably the slowest hop kick in the game, and if you're using this move as a hop kick, then you're using this move wrong. This is why I say Eddy does not have a good sidestep. We all know this, and Eddy does not have a hop kick, because this is not a hop kick. None of those are hop kicks. This is not a hop kick either. Like, god damn it. I'm sorry, I'm slow. I'm bad. But yeah, this is not a hop kick. This is mainly used for whiff punishing. Like if you're at a distance where this might not hit, you can go to this and this will definitely hit. And it's also really good for Oki as well, because the range is really deceptive. Like you could catch people like in really crazy range. Like I backdash, right, and I make a step, it's not gonna hit. But if I backdash, it'll hit. Like from this distance. Well, if Eddy's Ginga stance actually works out for me, let's see. Yeah, so like if his right foot is facing forward from this distance, it'll hit. It's just really unsafe on block and really unsafe on whiff. So just be mindful of the max distance you can get away with to really whiff punish. Also, like Eddy is briefly crouching, just like he is when he's doing while standing 1, so it could crush under some highs as well. It's a good move, just don't use it as a hop kick. He has forward forward 4, which is stupid, like stupid as in stupid good. It's safe on block. It goes into a handstand instantly, so if you're trying to punish it, then since Eddy's airborne, there's not much you can really do from it. It's not going to take a lot of damage off of him. And it also counts as a high crush because Eddy is not really considered like standing, so it could go under highs. It goes under most highs. Let's see. Okay, repeat action. I'm just gonna have him do a simple, I don't know, a simple 1-2. You know, I know he has a combo you could do from that. Hold on. Okay, yeah, that's what he has. I knew I wasn't going crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna have him do 1-2-2. So, okay, so it does hit high. I don't know why I expected that it didn't hit high. Okay, it doesn't. So you have to time it, because as you can see, it went under, but you have to time it, because like there's a brief moment where it won't hit, but it's weird. It crushes under some highs, but only like in the beginning of the active frames. It also crushes under some lows too, because as you can see, like he's airborne. So there's like, I think 1 or 2 frames where he's completely invincible to highs and lows, but that's not what we're talking about this move for. This move is really safe on block. So even if you throw this move out, you can like go into handstand 4, which is 12 frames. So I'm not sure if it's plus on block, but you could just go into handstand 4, which is 12 frames, and usually beats out most moves that your opponent tries to desperately punish with. And it's also, in case you haven't noticed, a launcher. So yeah, you get crazy damage from this. Like, let's see, I can get it. So like that's like 70 damage free. Like that's like 72 damage just from this. And this isn't counter hit, this isn't rage, you just get 72 damage. Like, it's a really good move. Lastly, for 19 frames, you have full crouch 1 +2 crying needle, which is natural combo, and it wall splats as you see, but as you can also see, the hitbox is pretty wonky. Like if you do it too early, then he'll just completely whiff. He'll just completely like fly past the person. It's natural combo, but you can delay the second hit further to like get some good licks in. So that's also good. And lastly, for 20 frames, because I feel like after we went past 15 frames, anything past 15 frames is overkill. But 20 frames, he has back 4, which has really good range. Like, he takes a step forward and he hits to the right, so you're gonna want to be positioned towards the left so that the move can hit. But it's decent range. You just gotta be like off axis to the left in order for the move to hit, because if you're like to the right, then it can whiff. If you're off to the side, then the move knocked down. If you're standing in front of him, it hits. You know, you go into 4, 4-3 + 4, you go into 4-3, which is natural combo. If you hit from the side, well, if you hit from the angle that won't knock the person off the freaking, is it natural combo? No, hold on, it's not natural combo. I'm getting this confused with down back 3. Down back 3, 4, this is natural combo. Like if you do it in reverse, it's natural combo, but if you do it like this way, it's not natural combo. But you know, this is good for trying to fish for counter hits, because if you're trying to fish for counter hits, this is a launcher. So that's your main purpose for that move, to fish out counter hits. Now you would think since this move has a similar animation to this would do something on counter hit. Unfortunately it doesn't. Only this launches on counter hit. And the other 20 frame that he has is this. It completely decimates lows, like lows are non-existent. Both variants are safe on block. This is safe on block. This is safer on block. And, you know, it does wall splat, I think. Yeah, it wall splats. So, that's it. We went from 10 frames to 20 frame punishes. Like I said, anything past 15 frames, anything past this move is no longer a punish. It's just notable moves. But we're gonna go into more notable moves that Eddy has before we go into relax and handstand. I feel like I've been talking for like 20,000 hours. I'll actually end it on this note, and then I'll continue with part 2. So I'll finish off the noticeables, the notable moves, and then go into sidestep moves. That's gonna be the second part. And then we're gonna go into relax and handstand moves. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. So expect the second part soon. Oh boy, it's gonna take a while. But I do it for y'all, man. I do it for y'all. Peace.